Between 1910 and 1970, over 6 million African Americans fled the Jim Crow South in hopes of escaping racial violence and pursuing prosperity, altering the demographic of many urban cities today, as well as creating tight-knit golf communities who fought for the integration of golf. This is the story of Detroit.
Every day between 1880 and 1940, there's a lynching somewhere in a southern state. There's a person being killed every single day, and some days 2 or 3 people are killed. Detroit really is on its way to becoming a significant city at that time. Henry Ford is going to begin offering $5 a day to all workers in 1914. So even if you come to the city of Detroit and you don't get a job at Ford Motor Company, there's other factories that have to compete with Ford that need you as a worker. And so you get this growth of African Americans. Detroit's black population quadruples in size.
This led to what is now known as the Great Migration, and it forever altered the cultural landscape of Detroit. Many who fled the South for Detroit found that the transition would not be easy, but they also found work that could support a better life and community in places they weren't allowed prior. One of those places being the golf course. And you can't talk about golf in Detroit without Ben Davis.
Ben Davis is a name that more Americans should know. Ben Davis, an African American, is part of that experience, that Great Migration experience.
He was one everybody wanted lessons from. Celebrities were getting lessons from him. Like when I started playing golf at 8, my grandfather was a teaching pro alongside Ben Davis. He was the only person my grandfather allowed me to learn from besides him.
Picking up the game in 1936 at 24 years old, Ben Davis dedicated his life to golf, becoming one of the first black head golf professionals in the country at Rackham Golf Course, and eventually at Palmer Park, a place where you might see Marvin Gaye drive past you while working on your short game.
I played against Marvin Gaye, Obie Benson of the Four Tops. They had Duke of the Four Tops. They came in and played. We had an enjoyable time.
Members of Motown, whether they were singers or recorders or whatever the case may be. Ben Davis was remarkable for having the patience to teach so many people how to play.
Ben Davis passed in 2013 at the age of 101, having spent more than 50 years teaching at Rackham, where he's enshrined on a plaque and an annual tournament is held in his name every year.
We're excited to be here today to continue the legacy of Ben Davis through this tournament. You know, it's an honor to be able to work at Rackham Golf Course and be able to put on a tournament in his name. And, you know, not a person walks into this building that doesn't have a good story or a good thing to say about Ben. You know, even today's youth comes in and Ben taught their fathers or their grandfathers.
It gives hope to young men and women. My 14-year-old son. You can do whatever you want to do. But what I remind him is you have to be vigilant, because it wasn't always that way in my lifetime.